Prince Harry and Princess Meghan became targets in a recent episode of South Park that aired on Wednesday, depicting the Prince and Princess of Canada. The young royal couple was shown loudly begging for privacy while drawing attention to themselves. The princess, who wears the same dusty pink outfit that Meghan wore for Trooping the Colour in 2018, along with an almost identical white hat that sits crooked on her head, and her red-haired husband are seen promoting the prince's book, Whack, whose cover strongly resembles Harry's memoir, Spare. After being questioned about their motives, they flee during a TV program before moving to South Park, with the princess declaring, "If we moved here, people would think we're really serious about wanting to be normal." But their arrival angers the local community, particularly Kyle, who lives across from them. He complains to his friends Kenny, Cartman, and Stan about the prince playing polo on the lawn and the private jet parked outside the house. "They have a huge jet parked in front of my house and keep wanting me to buy their book," he complains. The episode takes several veiled shots at the Sussexes, and we'll see 7 of these shots now, with the last being the most controversial of all. Let's go. Number 1. Prince and Princess of Canada attend Queen's funeral despite family feud. The episode begins with Kyle's younger brother, Ike, who was adopted from Canada, inconsolable with the news that the Queen of Canada, who looks like the late Queen Elizabeth II, has died. The Prince and Princess of Canada show up at her funeral and are booed by the rest of the royal family because they are attacking the Canadian monarchy. In typical South Park fashion, another member of the royalty even farts in the face of the Princess of Canada. Number 2. Couple appears on TV show demanding right to privacy. The couple decides to appear on the morning show on television, which doesn't go as planned. Arriving at the set of Good Morning Canada, the prince holds up a sign that reads, "We want privacy," while the princess's banner says, "Stop looking at us." The host asks the prince, "So you hate journalists?" "That's right," he replies. The host then asks if, by reporting on the royal family for his new book, Whack, he has now become a journalist, despite hating them. The prince responds, "We just want to be normal people, all this attention is so hard." The host responds by suggesting to the prince that his wife doesn't want privacy. The host also questions how much Meghan really wants to maintain her privacy, given her career as an actress and media, saying, "I think some people might say that your Instagram-loving wife doesn't really want privacy." This prompts South Park Harry to shout back, "How dare you, sir? My Instagram-loving tramp of a wife has always wanted privacy." The prince and princess then storm off the set while shouting at the offense. Comment below, do you think the couple is controversial? Number 3. They embark on a "We Want Privacy" world tour while yelling at confused locals. The couple boards their private jet and sets off on a "We Want Privacy" world tour, complete with dancing rainbows and a catchy theme song. They visit France and India, where they chant their pro-privacy slogans to confused locals, and even a kangaroo field during a pit stop in Australia. The prince and princess tick off US states where they try to settle, at one point landing in Colorado, where the princess raises a megaphone to a police cordon, singing, "We Want Privacy." Number 4. They move to South Park for privacy. Eventually, they land in South Park. "Look at this town, there's something to it," says the prince, standing on a hill overlooking the snowy scene. "If we moved here, people would think we're really serious about wanting to be normal." A private jet lands at their new home, which is across the street from Kyle's house. The royals clash with Kyle by drawing attention to themselves with a megaphone, lights, and fireworks while he tries to sleep. The duo immediately annoys their neighbors. As their furniture, including a drum set, is being carried in, the prince demands to check if it's not damaged, and sits on the lawn playing drums. "Hey, you, what are you looking at? Haven't you heard of privacy?" shouts the prince when Kyle observes his new neighbors. At school, Kyle complains to Cartman, Stan, and Kenny about the newcomers. "They have a huge jet parked in front of my house and keep trying to get me to buy their book," he says. The duo hangs banners above their house demanding privacy and throws loud parties on their lawn with fireworks. "Why are we so angry today?" "Because we want our privacy," shouts the prince. When the prince starts playing polo on the lawn, breaking Kyle's window, the South Park resident can't take it anymore. He complains to his school friends, "The prince plays drums all day, I don't think he even has a job." She seems to be bossing him around. Why did they leave Canada anyway? Kyle's friends say they're tired of his complaints about the Canadian prince and princess. Number 5. Royals cover the outside of Kyle's house with magazine covers featuring the face of the princess. One morning, Kyle wakes up to find the house covered in magazine covers featuring the face of the princess. They include one that looks very similar to the Cut magazine's cover after it published a cover interview with Meghan last summer. When Kyle confronts the royals, the princess screams, "He victimized me." The prince comes to his wife's defense. "This is an outrage," he cries. "Let's see how he deals with my blue penis." This seems to be a reference to Harry's frozen penis, which he detailed in his memoir, Spare. The prince angrily crosses the street to Kyle's house, then shows him through the window, shouting, "Hey, have some respect for people's privacy." Number 6. Prince and princess argue with Kyle at a branding agency. The prince and princess turn to a branding agency with a crude name to help protect their privacy. "There's a terrible spy who lives across the street," explains the prince. The brand manager says he already has a file on the princess, which she created years ago. "I already have your brand, sorority girl, actress, influencer, and victim," he tells her. The prince's brand is decided as real prince, millionaire, world traveler, victim. Number 7. Prince appears to leave wife after declaring desire for real privacy, only for her to remain silent about her desire. The prince, inside the agency, suddenly has a moment of clarity and realizes he doesn't want to be a brand. "Trying to make ourselves into a brand has turned us into products," declares the Canadian prince. "No more magazines and Netflix shows, we can just live a normal life." He gets up to leave and walks towards the door, but his wife remains inside the branding company. "Come on, darling, we don't need this place," he says. "Honey?" The prince then leaves alone. Kyle meets up with his friends, who invite him to play. The prince then arrives and asks if he can play too. He brings his drums. These were the 7 veiled jabs that South Park took at the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Comment below what you thought. Do you agree with South Park or not? We hope you enjoyed this update and learned something new about our beloved members of the royal family. If you liked it, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more updates on all things royalty. We have lots of interesting content coming up, so you won't want to miss it. From all of us here at the Royal Desk, have a wonderful night and thank you for tuning in.